Hi everybody, welcome to 15 Minutes with Rocky. Today I want to talk about my favorite subject, which as you know, if you've been following my videos, is time management. Now this particular topic I want to cut up in two pieces because it's too long to do just in 15 seconds. So it's going to be two segments. What I want to talk about is how to be more efficient, obviously, with your time. And also, we're going to talk about procrastination, and we're also going to talk about timing, when to do things, and what is the most effective way, at least what I have experienced to be the most effective way. Okay? So this conversation came about because on Saturdays, I do field work for my company, My House of Magic. And usually my field work has to start at around 12 noon, right? I have to leave at 12. So I usually wake up around 7 o'clock in the morning, and I usually have this question, this decision to make. Should I take a shower at 7 o'clock in the morning, or should I take it around 11 o'clock after I've eaten, I've, done my breakfast and so on and so forth, or I've done some stuff that has made me sweat. So I asked myself, should I take it at 7 or at 11, right before before the time that I have to leave? It seems to be a dilemma. When I have tried to do it at 11, I've noticed that sometimes there's a problem. And I want to talk to you about that. And maybe this can relate to the times that you have waited to do something that maybe you should have done earlier, but at the moment it didn't look like a big deal because it was such a small thing. That's what I want to talk about. These small things. A shower shouldn't take that long. So what happens is that at times I say, yeah, well, I'm going to sweat or whatever the case is. Let me take it at 11. It's real quick. I take a military shower at time. It's really, really quick. So what happens is I would go and do my day, and I'm supposed to start the shower at 11, but I've gotten myself so involved with so many things. Maybe I went out to do an errand, and I'm taking longer. And by the time I come back, it's 11:45. You see the problem. I only have 15 minutes to shower and get dressed. Okay? And you know what's going to happen. I'm going to rush. And I may not get out of the house or out of the office on time. And now I'm late. And now you have, I started late for the first event, gig, or field assignment. And everything thereafter kind of like doesn't fall in place because I'm late to most of the events, because it's like a domino effect, and a negative one at that. So I wanted to talk to you about that because of the fact that it has affected me negatively, and it seems to be something that I grappled with. So when I say this is a common sense guide to a possible better life, common sense is not that common at times. So I wanted to talk to you and share this with you such that maybe by sharing it, there's a better impact and we can get that handled. Now, same thing happened this, although today is not Saturday, I do field work on Sunday as well. Today is Sunday. I woke up, again, the question is, should I shower in the morning or should I shower, around 11 o'clock? So I showered in the morning. I risk, that I may sweat or do something. I always like to be fresh going to the gigs. However, I think that the better choice, the timing is better at 7. I got it out of the way. Now, one thing that I noticed that when I do shower, it does actually take longer than I thought. Somehow I have this tendency, and maybe you have the same tendency, of underestimating the amount of time something is going to take. I mean, I shower, shave, and, put some, wash my face, with different type of products. And then I moisturize my face and the gel and so on and so forth, and getting dressed and so on and so forth. And it takes a extremely long time when you have the time to do it. So when you're putting in the time, you have a lot of time. Now, a lot of people say that's why I don't like to do things when I have a lot of time, because I'll take an enormous amount of time. I can understand that argument. However, just get this, that usually it takes an enormous amount of time compared to our common estimation, especially we that live in a microwave timing kind of world where we think that things can be done in a minute or two. And that it's insane sometimes because we have this idea that things can be done in a minute or two because you go to a fast food restaurant and they can get your food out in 3 minutes. Well, we're not fast food. You know, we're not, we don't have that kind of organization at times. And maybe you do. I'm saying it's just my own experience. And what I'm saying is that we, at least I do, often severely underestimate the amount of time something is going to take. So at times, you know, so my suggestion to you is to get done what needs to be done early. Don't overestimate the amount of time that you have, and don't underestimate the amount of time something is going to take. You're going to run into problems. But what if we like those problems? Let me explain. So let's say that I'm supposed to shower at 11, or you're supposed to do whatever. So my thing is showering. Your thing is, I don't know, doing whatever you got to do before, in preparation. We're going to talk about preparation and procrastination. So these are topics that we're going to answer back and forth. Let's say you're supposed to get prepared, but you don't. You wait for the last minute. Okay, either for that test that you have to prepare for, or whatever the case is, your taxes. And what happens is that you challenge yourself to get it done. Okay, you only have but so much time. I only have, let's say, 10 minutes to shower and get dressed. And let's say I take on that challenge. What happens? You have adrenaline, serotonin, endorphins, dopamine. So all these hormones and neurotransmitters pump you up, right, to help you out, get you out of the door. And then what happens is you do it, and you get out the house, and you get to your location, or you complete the task on time, or even worse, earlier. Now, why do I say even worse? Well, because if you do get to do it, that task, and get it delivered on the right time, then you have now believed that it possibly can be done the same way in the future. And your brain, now being, submerged with all these feel-good, hormones and neurotransmitters, just got rewarded. You just got rewarded. So the next time, you may want to pull that off so that you can get the rewards of the dopamine, adrenaline, serotonin, endorphins. It's almost like the gambler. Now we're going to start to gamble with the timing on when to do something. I hope you're understanding this is very powerful. At least for me, it has been. So I have become addicted to the challenge, to the competitiveness, sort of like a game we play it with ourselves. Can I get this done in the time allotted? Or if I just compress the time and just give myself 15% or 20% of the time that I usually take, can I still get this done? And sometimes we do pull it off. We do pull it off. And that, my friends, I say it's a problem. It can be a very big challenge going into the future, because it is a platform that may lead to a lot of disappointments and you being late very often to many of the tasks that you have to do. Now, a platform for disappointment. However, this disappointment is also mixed in with some moments of pleasure. Because when you do pull it off, the excitement of pulling it off may be so rewarding that you're willing to have several disappointments for just that one time where you get to pull it off. It's almost like shooting a basketball, right? You shoot the basketball 7 times, 8 times, you don't get discouraged. You do it until you win. So with procrastination, for waiting, you will be late several times, and let's say that the lateness does not generate a very, like a problem. Okay, it doesn't generate that much of a problem. You're not going to have a reason not to try it again. Okay, especially if you're into instant gratification. If you're into instant gratification, you may hold off stuff, so you can do whatever you want to do and put off the things that you need to do and get into whatever you want to do right there, for instant gratification. There's also if you are late, you can that becomes a habit. Just like the lottery winners. If you win at times when you were late and nobody said anything, and you were late and you got away with it, let's say you were supposed to be there at 1, you got there at 1:20, nobody said anything, it's almost like you just got rewarded 20 minutes, which was not yours. It's almost like a prize. As convoluted as this sounds, I think there's some validity to it. Just follow along with me. So what we want to do is we want to look very closely at what are we rewarding ourselves, or what actions are we taking such that we're getting rewarded, and see if the rewards are actually beneficial for us or they're becoming addictive. Because how many times, and maybe this has happened in your life, of someone who's fashionably late or just late all the time. It's almost like it's a habit. Like they cannot get themselves to do otherwise. And what happens is that their lateness starts to affect you. Maybe they were late to meeting you. And it's almost like they become careless. But what if it's happening to you? Are we careless? But then we get the justification coming in. Let's say that I waited till 11 o'clock to take a shower. My neighbor, let's say Josh, will come over and say, hey, let me tell you something important. And sure enough, it is important. But now I'm delayed by 20 minutes. Who am I going to blame? Obviously Josh, right? Not me. And that's what I start doing. I start assigning blame to other people for my lateness. Okay? What do you want me to do? I wasn't expecting Josh. Or one of my entertainers comes and they start talking to me. They want this, they need that, or whatever. It wasn't my problem. It was my entertainer's problem. Okay? Or I get a phone call. A customer wants to know. I wasn't expecting that. So, not expecting the unexpected. These are cliches. We understand that. But at the end, it is I who get to the place late. It is I who's going to have either my team or a customer angry at me. But again, what if the anger doesn't show up? What if there's nothing there? There's a sense of getting away with something, is my point. Okay? Again, this is a very profound conversation. I'm laying the frameworks right now. This is part 1 of this preparation, procrastination, pulling it off when it comes to lateness and when you don't manage your time right. And it being or creating habits that don't serve you, but yet they can be very thrilling. Okay, so this is very powerful. And we're going to finish this particular segment and move on to the next.